Good afternoon and welcome to the Mayor's State of the City Address. My name is Chris Wolf and I'm the past chair of the East Grand Forks Chamber of Commerce and also the Grand Forks president for Alaris Financial. It is indeed an honor for me personally to be here, as well as for your Chamber of Commerce to partner with the city to bring you the 13th annual Mayor's State of the City Address. First, we would like to thank the many sponsors of this event. Their support helps make this event possible. The sponsors are listed on the program at your place setting, and please join me in showing our appreciation for their support. At the Chamber, it is our mission to create an environment that encourages business success while enhancing the quality of life in our region. The Chamber continues to inform, promote, advocate, connect, and educate its more than 1,000 members. Many of our activities are in partnership with the city. The mayor and his staff have been tremendous to work with. Mayor Brown served in the Air Force as a launch control officer stationed at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. He is a graduate of the University of North Dakota Medical School and is currently an OB/GYN doctor at All True Health System. He has served as our mayor since first being elected in 2000. Mayor Brown has consistently been viewed as a friend to business and helps lead our community moving forward with higher expectations and a strong vision. Would you please help me in welcoming to the podium our mayor, Dr. Michael Brown.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the annual State of the City. My thanks to the Chamber for continuing to jointly host this event, one of the many demonstrations of the superb Chamber staff and the partnerships between business and the city. My thanks also to everyone who has worked to make this event possible, especially the crew at the Alaris Center and all of the event sponsors. Additionally, my thanks to my wife, Ann, who is here today. Yep. And also to my nurses, Brenda and Christy, who from with me at All True. They keep me focused and on track as a doctor, which in turn helps keep me focused and on track in my role on days like today as mayor. With all that said, I want to recognize a few of the officials here with us today. East Grand Forks Council and officials, President Kelly, Colonel Bowman, legislators and representatives of our state and federal government. I want to thank you for being here, and a key part of our team is the City Council. President Sandy and Council members Bierke, Weber, Schneider, Mock, Christensen, and Vian. Could you please stand? I sincerely appreciate the work you're doing. We're a good team. The framework of what we do remains the Grand Forks promise, a promise that every person, business, and organization has the opportunity to grow. We fulfill this promise through 5 pillars: a safe community, an affordable place to live and do business, a commitment to young people, healthy and recreational activities, and opportunities to be engaged. This is our promise, this is our foundation. However, this year we're going to try a couple of new things. Today's talk will ask you to embrace the edge. We'll talk about the progress of last year, about investments in infrastructure, about our emerging culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. We'll talk vision, and we'll talk about action. Specifically, a plan for the next 5 years, a GF 2020 action plan. But before we roll too far into the future, let me give you a glimpse of the past year.
Good morning, Mayor. I have those numbers you requested.
Good morning, Marie.
As you can see, sales tax is up just under 4% for the year.
And what about bond refinancing?
We were actually able to save just over $800,000 for the bond.
Well, that's great news for the taxpayers.
Finance Department's doing a great job.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Hi, Mayor Brown. We had a record construction year last year.
Wow, these numbers look great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, here's our annual report. It looks like our assessments are going up about 8% this year.
Well, that's a sign of a healthy community. Assessing's doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, that sounds good. Let's get it done.
All right, thank you.
How's the merger going?
It's going very well. The planning and urban development departments are a natural fit, so now we have a one-stop shop.
Community development's doing great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, good morning, Mayor. The three big projects we have this summer are the Sorley Bridge, South Washington Street, and South Columbia Road.
Engineering's doing a great job.
Yes, it's going to be a busy summer.
Thank you, Mike. Chief,
Good morning, sir.
you've inherited a great department.
Yes, we have. Becoming nationally recognized as an accredited agency has been a very important step for
I'm
us.
excited about the new leadership team.
We're excited about the direction we're going.
I think Grand Forks Police Department's in great hands. Thank
Yes,
you.
it is, sir. Thank you.
Chief, I caught you working.
It's pretty rare you'll find me working, Mayor, but you know, I have an exciting time right now. We're going to open up a new fire station southeast part of the city there, as you know, and we're going to improve our response times. How exciting is that?
That's just outstanding. It'll keep us all safer.
It will do that, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Do I have to get back to work now?
Get back to work.
All right, there you got it.
Melanie, how's the new water treatment plant coming?
Great, Mayor. We're actually working on wrapping up the design this year, and we'll incorporate new technology for water quality standards.
Wow, keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Hey, Rick,
Hey, Mayor.
this is incredible.
Yeah, this is where we monitor and program and control all the traffic signals in the city of Grand Forks.
Well, I go to work at 7:30 on Columbia. Can you help me?
Yeah, I think we could work something out.
There's so much going on in our city that if you blink, you might miss it. That's what we call a pretty good Wednesday around the city. But seriously, look at the safety numbers, the budget numbers, and the activity going on and the work going into services. It's a beehive activity around the city, and I'm so proud of our people. As many of you know, the reason behind much of that action and certainly the intensity of our activity the last year is our city administrator, Todd Phelan. His energy, yes. His energy, leadership, and vision are infectious. He expects courage, action, partnerships, and prudent risk-taking. It's with these high expectations our top-notch department heads, city staff, and partners with the city have all stepped up and are getting it done. We have committed to transparency and engagement, and we're making good on that commitment with our digital media efforts, like our new website, televising meetings, and robust social media. You can get in-depth budget information, report a pothole or a street light out, or other concern through our GF 311 app, watch live streamed meetings, and yes, know when your bus is getting there. GrandForksGov.com has had over 500,000 page views since July, and the GF 311 Concern reporting app has had approximately 880 requests in the same time. That's a lot of engagement. But what else would you expect from the city that received the 2014 eCity recognition by Google? Another way we're staying fresh is surrounding ourselves with bright, fresh talent like Alyssa Wall, one of our city interns and an architect of the city's new internship program. Yeah. Great job to Alyssa and our superb human resources team, and to the 50-50 funding collaboration with UND that makes this program possible. We have numerous experiential learning opportunities for students and projects providing real value for our community. And then another way you stay fresh is investing in our people and building leadership capacity. You might have met a few of our city's 2014 leadership team when you came in today. It's a robust program that allows us to invest in our team members and have the community reap the rewards. And what we're not afraid of is embracing the edge ourselves, like being proactive and making strategic investments throughout our infrastructure master plan. This master plan includes seeding development with infrastructure on the west edge of town along Highway 2 and in the south end around the business and logistics park and further south. I need to say thank you to Art Greenberg for your mentoring on this and encouraging us a few years ago. We're finally catching up to you. With EDC and others, we're setting our own course of growth and being proactive about providing the type of fertile environment for business growth and expansion. Klaus Thiessen, our EDC president, was the governor's choice for Economic Developer of the Year, and he wouldn't want me to mention that, but we're pretty proud of him and appreciate his work. Thank you, Klaus. So Klaus, Keith Lund, and the EDC staff are part of our collaborative team moving the approximately $2 billion Northern Plain nitrogen plant forward. This is an exciting, potentially game-changing project for our region. We're also working closely with the project partners and ensuring our community has the infrastructure necessary, but also the safety and environmental protections necessary for theirs and all of our long-term economic vitality. Part of that necessary infrastructure is the Grand Forks Region Water Treatment Plant, also planned for the west edge of town, just off Highway 2. The funding for this project is a partnership being worked out at the state and regional levels, and will continue to be assertive for the best funding cost share. This is also the case for the Red River Water Supply Project. We are working to ensure long-term water stability and reliability because it's good for our citizens and good for businesses. It's good for the community. These two water projects are 100-year projects and provide long-term regional, safe, reliable, and affordable water. But we're not stopping with water. Transportation funding is another tough road we're traveling. We have identified a need of roughly $32 million a year for maintenance and growth over the next 10 years. But there's a gap of $17 million looming due to decreasing state and federal funds. That's not good. And it's not just maintenance, but regional projects like the underpass at 42nd Street in Demers that promotes a safer, quicker flow of traffic, and the interchange at 47th Avenue South that will allow for new residential, commercial, and light industrial growth on both sides of the interstate. To accomplish all these projects in our infrastructure master plan, we're pushing hard at the state level for funding and exploring any federal options possible. We're going to keep pushing there because our goal is always to minimize the local cost share of these projects that have regional and statewide impact. Investments in transportation and other development infrastructure are also important to continue addressing our housing shortage. As you heard earlier, we've made strides in the past few years, but we can do more. We need to do more. We can't settle for 1.2% growth in our metro area experiencing now, but we need to strategically plan. Specifically, we need to work with the Housing Authority regarding affordable and senior housing and continue to work with developers to increase the available and affordable housing stock. This also includes focusing on greater density developments in existing areas like the downtown, where we have seen an increase of population of nearly 30% in the last 4 years from just under 1,300 residents to over 1,600. These strategies and partnerships produce even more inspired projects like the Hugo's multi-purpose development on South Washington, the Simonson's Housing Project on North 3rd Street, and the joint school, park, city developer neighborhood behind Super Target that's already taking shape. These are important partnerships, and we've proven partnerships yield strong returns. For example, just look at the returns of last year in the field of UAS. 2014 saw our designation as one of 6 test sites, the signing of the enhanced use lease at the Air Force Base, and the signing of the major tenant, Northrop Grumman. These are momentous milestones, and they help distinguish the Grand Forks community. Our congressional team was instrumental, as was the leadership of the governor and lieutenant governor. But local leadership from the Base Realignment Impact Committee, including Coordinator Tom Ford and Terry Sando, was also critical. And none of this would have been possible without the leadership of the Grand Forks County and specifically the county commissioners. In 2015, we're focusing on supporting the 2015 FAA reauthorization, supporting the acceleration of U.S. commercial operations, and supporting other recognition of U.S. operations in our agreement with other countries. In short, we need the FAA and other agencies to provide global businesses the opportunity to develop technology and deploy commercialization here. Of course, we're continuing to protect our base, and we have the distinct privilege to be on this mission with Colonel Bowman and F. John Marshall, Ambassador #1. Another area where Grand Forks is demonstrating strong leadership is with the Air Force Base is on what we call the Community Partnership Initiative. This is the city, county, park, and district, and others working to provide to add value to the Grand Forks mission by cost and service sharing on essential services. In a like manner, we're also assembling a working team to explore how the Grand Forks Public Safety Center can become a campus. We think it can help provide critical capacity for first responder training for the state, region, and the entire nation. Another collaboration in which Grand Forks is deeply invested is the Valley Prosperity Partnership. I fully support this brainchild of Bill Marcel and the goals developed by the Valley-wide partners, including augmenting workforce, developing and providing long-term affordable and available water supply. In the end, working together along the valley means greater success. And even working closer with our backyard also means greater success. City Council President Dana Sandy has offered to take the lead in working with others, like the Chamber, to convene regular discussions with elected leaders of our partners, including Grand Forks County, Park District, School District, and East Grand Forks. This is a good idea. We will build on existing relationships and explore potential areas to better cooperate and provide cost-effective and valuable services for our shared taxpayers. I applaud Council President Sandy for his initiative and leadership to suggest this targeted effort. Last year, I introduced the concept of social infrastructure and called for the creation of a commission to investigate and report on the human and social elements that bind a community. I'm very impressed with the work of the Blue Ribbon Commission on Human and Social Infrastructure over the last year, particularly chairs Diane Knopf from the County Commission and Brett Weber of the City Council. I should also point out the county stepped forward to help fund this effort without even being asked, and that's a good partner. Thank you. This commission has addressed child care, health issues, social detox, and diversity, and are digging into the weighty issues concerning our maturing population and aging services. I understand the commission members are planning to present a request to keep the commission active. I appreciate the work they've done and will support that plan. There is more work to do. For example, continued work is needed on how we support the agencies and organizations that support the most in need in our community. Our community is blessed with compassionate and competent professionals and with a tremendous amount of outside support from organizations like Knight Foundation and Bush Foundation. This support, combined with the leadership and vision of the Community Foundation, is helping us to change the way we build community and how we best align priorities and resources. One example of community partners aligning resources is the Nonprofit Business Alliance. This network of nonprofit and business professionals has been a valuable instrument for sharing, collaboration, and providing leadership in keeping our nonprofits viable, supportive, and effective. Another example, Pat Berger of United Way, who is helping co-chair the Nonprofit Business Alliance, is leading the United Way team on an in-depth review of philanthropy and need within their organization and the community as a whole. I applaud that leadership and recognize such action is courageous and will deliver substantial returns. I also applaud the bouquet of efforts in our community focusing on encouraging health. All True Health System, for example, has planted numerous seeds to be a more active and healthy region and continues to play a vital role, not just as our health system, but as a community partner. I encourage our citizens to sign up for the Healthy GGF Million Mile Walking Challenge and to be involved with any of the others, like Health Trip, and to take advantage of community facilities and programming like that of the Grand Forks Park District that has literally opened the doors to health and wellness for thousands of residents. I'm proud also to have been asked to help kick off a brand new program developed by the Grand Forks Public Health Department. Today we are launching Partners for a Healthy Community. This program is dedicated to helping organizations create healthy choices and policies focusing on increasing access to healthier food options and supporting opportunities for healthy activities. The cards on your table will point you to the new website and resources that will help get your organization started. The social detox center is another issue that's been lingering for years, but is now ready to come to fruition. Thanks to the staunch determination of Kate Kenna of Northeast Human Services and a team of multi-jurisdictional professionals, we have a plan for the first time in this 10-year conversation that can and will work. We all need partners to agree this is a shared community issue, and although a heavy lift, it is lightened by the many hands. I call on the partners to proceed with a social detox plan, and let's get this issue off the table so we can tackle the next one. Identifying issues, working together, taking action, that is our way. In fact, that's the way our community is addressing the issues like high-risk drinking and underage drinking. The Community and Campus Committee on High-Risk Alcohol Use has brought forward a thoughtful and well-researched approach that engages both educational campaigns and policy suggestions that will help keep our young people and our overall community safer. These are tough issues to tackle, but necessary issues to tackle. It takes courage to even have the conversations, and I both applaud and support the work of the CCC and the leadership of chairs Lori Reeser and Ken Vian. In fact, it's not easy to change culture, but that's exactly what's needed here. We need to be crystal clear that while we like to enjoy a beverage, negative actions like underage drinking and high-risk drinking have consequences that undermine the safety of our young people and others. I know some say such social change is not possible, but I know this is not true. Just look at the transformational work being done with our Safer Tomorrows partners. Led by the Community Violence Intervention Center, the Grand Forks Public Schools, Lutheran Social Services of North Dakota, the Safer Tomorrows work is changing culture for generations and demonstrate loudly, clearly, boldly, violence will not be a part of our lives. Instead, we are a community that expects respect, dignity, and will stand up for one another. This last year, we introduced the Upstander Award for this very purpose. Our inaugural Upstander is Coach Mike Berg, who is shepherding the Coaching Boys into Men program throughout Grand Forks County that challenges the notion that boys will be boys. This program is now spreading to other areas like Bismarck and Fargo. Coach Berg and all of our Safer Tomorrows partners are making a difference. They are showing us we can expect more and demonstrating that Grand Forks can lead the way. Our children will be safer, our community will be safer, respect and dignity are expected. What a thrill it has been to work with our youth projects on projects like these, with our Youth Commission on projects like these. In fact, one thing I'm 100% sure that makes me smile is the Grand Forks Youth Commission. Under the leadership of Sarah Shimmick, the Youth Commission provides leadership opportunities for our young people, advising on the Safer Tomorrows project, providing youth with perspectives on topics like e-cigarettes, access to alcohol, and support continuing our troops. You'll be pleased to know the coffee you're drinking today is part of the fundraiser with Dunn Brothers to help the Commission send care packages to our deployed troops. Doesn't that just make you swell with pride? This is the type of community in which we want to live. And this is the message we need to spread. Come join us in wonderfully livable community of Grand Forks. Why? For one reason, we have to continue developing workforce. Fortunately, significant effort on workforce development is already underway. For these past 3 years, the EDC and the school district have partnered on the Northern Valley Career Expo. In that time, this expo introduced nearly 4,000 students from 27 high schools in the region to 70 local employers and 22 local occupations. Of the students surveyed, 77% report they are more likely to pursue a career in the area after attending the expo. Workforce is also the joint focus of the EDC, Chamber, and the Valley Prosperity Partnership. In fact, the Chamber has enlisted an intern to assist with the findings of the Workforce Committee, and they have come up with some real eye-opening and action-ready steps. Finally, our workforce efforts need to have a global perspective. We must embrace the internationalization of Grand Forks and recognize the value of the current wide range of internationally born workforce. One way to do this would be actions such as targeted recruitment. We also know the best way to retain our workforce is to be the type of vibrant community where people want to live. That's one reason why over the last year's State of the City address, we talked about creating Dazzle, and that has led to a vibrancy effort, which in turn has inspired 3 specific vibrancy committees around: 1, downtown; 2, university and community relations; and 3, arts and events. Let's take a look at the first 2 areas, UND and downtown. Grand Forks, proud home of the University of North Dakota. You know, I graduated from medical school right here at UND. In fact, most of us in Grand Forks have a strong connection with the university. The benefits are countless. The vitality and diversity and sheer intellectual resources that is in Grand Forks because of UND. The statewide pride of being the University of North Dakota. The cultural and, of course, the athletic opportunities. The medicine, law, aviation, including UAS, petroleum engineering, and so many fields that are creating the workforce we need in our growing state and region. The impact of students, socially and economically. We have proactively teamed with the University of North Dakota, and the city now boasts an outstanding internship program and other experiential learning opportunities. As a city, we need to continue those partnerships. There's so much more we can do as a community to embrace our university and its members and literally fly the colors throughout town. This incredible university is not just part of Grand Forks because we share land. It's part of what makes our community so vibrant. We are the proud home of the University of North Dakota. Speaking of what makes Grand Forks so vibrant, check out the downtown. A few years back, we identified downtown as an opportunity, and we put a call to go downtown. Since then, numerous businesses and ventures have blossomed, not the least of which is the Downtown Development Association. In place just over a year, they've already made a mark in creating vibrancy in many ways. Stacy Myshak from the Downtown Development Association can tell you better about that. Stacy?
Thank you, Mayor. The Downtown Development Association works closely with city leaders and city departments to create a downtown that is a great place to live, work, and visit. Together, we're creating a downtown that has a thriving business environment, is livable, walkable, and a great resource for our community. Thank you, Mayor Brown, and to too many departments to mention for being so great to work with.
Thank you, Stacy. Our Vibrancy Committee is tasked to work with the DDA and others to develop tangible action plans for a better downtown. Thanks to chairs Jim Galloway and John Holt. And speaking of John Holt, he's probably tweeting us to his millions of followers right now. Speaking of a million, one of the most exciting things to happen recently downtown has been 1 Million Cups. 1 Million Cups has been meeting in the Empire Arts Center, encouraging entrepreneurs in our community, which is an important aspect of growth and vitality. We'll be relying on our vibrancy committees, but also on grassroots efforts and energized individuals. We'll be looking at ways to create vibrancy in the UND campus and in the downtown and in the corridors that connect the two. This strong connection between UND and the downtown is one that we need to take advantage of.
That's really exciting, Mayor Brown. It's good to see a couple of the hot spots identified in the community visioning process a couple years ago moving forward. Welcome to our community coffee shop. I'm Barry Wilford with the Chamber of Commerce. When Pete Hagan and I talked about the format for this year's State of the City, we thought, why don't we try something a little different this year? So we came up with a conversation with the mayor and some local entrepreneurs. Joining the mayor, we have Justin Auk, owner of Also Creative. Next, we have Amy Shimmick. Amy and her husband are co-owners of Dunn Brothers Coffee, Sublime Aesthetic Professionals, and are also in the top 20 income-producing business centers in their network marketing business. Finally, we have Jonathan Holt, co-owner of the Toasted Frog in Grand Forks, Fargo, and Bismarck with us, here to talk about Grand Forks as an increasingly good place to start and grow businesses. But first, a few questions for you, Mayor Brown.
Okay.
You know, that was a great video, but what else do you see happening downtown with the UND Community Initiative?
Well, I expect to see great growth downtown, especially thanks to Jonathan Holt and Jim Galloway, the co-chairs of the Downtown Development Association. I also expect us to paint downtown green, as we said, during game days with UND. I think we're so proud of our university, and all of us owe so much to that university. I also want to see more big events downtown, more social events, more live music and things like that.
You know, I got to get you to slow down when you're talking. You don't have the teleprompter. You can just kind of relax. Sometimes I've been over to Mayor Brown's house a couple of times for dinner, and I think we should have changed this format to cooking with the mayor, because when he's actually preparing the meal, he talks a little slower.
But there's so much to say in so little time.
I know. Mike, you've been mayor now for 14 years, yep. And you know, our community's come a long way under your leadership. What are some of your proudest accomplishments?
Well, I think I'm most proud, of the Grand Forks Promise. I think that sums it up, the type of community we all want to live in. And I think as a city, we do the basic things well, the blocking and tackling. We clean the streets, we kill the mosquitoes so we can go outside, which has been a big change for me. We also emphasize...
We all like that.
We emphasize healthy activities, and we have a healthy, active community, and I think it's wonderful that we have the partners that make that happen.
So what are some of the unfinished pieces of businesses that you still want to accomplish as our mayor?
Well, I think the GF 2020 plan we're going to talk about is what we expect to see over the next 5 years to make our community stronger, more stable, more viable, and healthier. And I think we're going to learn a lot right now.
You know, Mayor, I heard a rumor, and I think we've all kind of heard this rumor about you recently. I heard that you might be running for another term.
In a heartbeat. I do.
You know, I don't know if that's an official announcement. We'll take you off the hook, though. There's probably another day for that.
We'll see
So, anyway.
how the reception is. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you so passionate about our city. We're really lucky to have you as mayor, and I'll be the first person to vote for you if you do decide to run.
Thank you.
Let's turn our attention to some of our local entrepreneurs. Justin, your business, Also Creative, is fairly new, but you've got a storefront downtown, several employees, and you work with a number of high-profile companies, both locally and nationally. So, simple question: why here? Why Grand Forks?
Well, first of all, I'm a UND grad. Also a former UND employee, honorably discharged. So Grand Forks had a really nice, dynamic culture that my family and I found very appealing. So we were very proud over the years to make this our home. Now, I always knew I wanted to be a business owner, and software was what I was doing at the time, so I thought, hey, why not? I can do this. And like the mayor said before, Grand Forks is a beehive of activity, and this town has a buzz. We wanted to be part of that buzz and do as much as we can to not only just be part of it, but contribute to it and improve it. Our biggest challenge is keeping people here. Software is only as good as the people that develop it, and we are very focused on doing whatever we can to creatively entice and keep talent in this town, keep their butts in our seats, and not lose them to Fargo or Silicon Valley. So, thank you.
That's great, Justin. Thank you. Mayor, do you have anything you want to add?
That's just wonderful.
Now, Amy, you have 3 businesses, 2 with storefronts on the south end of town and 1 that's virtual. Tell us about your decision to go off on your own with your husband, and also talk about the opportunities you see in developing the south end of our community and for online businesses in Grand Forks.
Well, I think, like Justin, we saw a place where our passion and our skills could come together to meet the needs of the community, and we've been really well supported in that in the South End. With Choice Health and Fitness being out there, the new Icon Sports Center, the huge amount of residential growth we've seen out there, it's just an ideal place and time to be entrepreneurs. In terms of our online business, how awesome that we can provide solutions for people worldwide while living right here in Grand Forks, raising our 3 daughters here in a very safe community with lots of cool opportunities for kids.
Great. Thank you very much, Amy. Jonathan, the Chamber and the city are both advocates for the free enterprise system.
Thank you.
Maybe I need to do the cooking show and slow it down a little bit. Jonathan, the Chamber and the city are both advocates for the free enterprise system, and nothing makes the mayor and I happier than when a new business opens. Million Cups is one of the dozen or so things that you're involved in the community, including your 3 businesses, community building with the downtown, CVIC, just to name a couple. Let's end our session today the same way every Million Cups session on Wednesday mornings at the Empire end. Talk about what this community can do to support entrepreneurs.
Thanks, Barry. Yeah, I think just like the mayor said, we need to embrace the edge, embrace the weird, and embrace the creative in our community. A lot of wonderful businesses are born out of what seem to be crazy ideas at the time, and they're able to flourish because of the support that they get from throughout the community. We're seeing a lot of those ideas embraced and talked about at 1 Million Cups every Wednesday morning at the Empire Arts Center, so I encourage you all to attend. But there's a lot of great businesses in Grand Forks, and the people that own those businesses can really mentor young people, people that want to start businesses, so we need to embrace that in any way that we can.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Well, I'm also pleased today. I'm also pleased today to announce that Mike Jacobs and Dean Storrs have agreed to co-chair the UND Community Vibrancy Committee. So I expect great things from all those vibrancy committees. Thank you.
Well, this has been great. Thank you all for participating. And Mayor, thank you for all you do for the business community and for Grand Forks. Now let's take a look at some of the excitement going on in our community.
how exciting, right? We are doing a lot, and there's a lot going on, and we can do more. Part of what will be the responsibility of the third Vibrancy Committee, Arts and Entertainment. I want to say thank you to Julie Rigg and Sean Gaddy and the members of this committee for investing your time and talent. And a big thank you to Meredith Richards as the city staffer keeping all these committees organized. As many of you know, an effort near and dear to my heart is the work of the Public Arts Commission, or PAC. Together with support from the City Council, PAC is spearheading an arts and culture master plan that will give birth to a new vision of the aesthetic future of our community. And to be a way of distinguishing us as a center for arts and culture, one that bridges difference, celebrates innovation and creativity, and boldly conveys the spirit of our community and our people. The Arts Master Plan will include the identification of districts and corridors particularly suited to a broad range of public art. Subsequently, the PAC will implement the process to select, install, and integrate such art and activities into the matrix of communal life. Importantly, they'll all need your help. PAC will be calling on all of us to help through a public engagement initiative called Imagine Grand Forks. Make no mistake, this effort will differentiate the Grand Forks community for generations to come, so I encourage everyone to be involved. I also want to be sure to once again reinforce that our work with public art includes the Veterans Memorial Park. Progress has been steady, but understandably slow to John Hanson and the others involved. I would like to secure a location for this year's VEC Park by July 4th and be ready to celebrate on November 11th. Our vets deserve this and so much more. Circling back to the importance of new events, I want to be sure we make focus on our increasing vibrancy with even more live music, places to mingle, and places to embrace the outdoors, like continuing to embrace the river with new events and opportunities. Just one example is the new boathouse and river entry infrastructure downtown. Thanks to the support from the Outdoor Heritage Fund and the ongoing work of the Ground Up Adventures, we will have equipment rental and access this year. And surely you have to admit the blue cargo crates downtown are a sign we're trying to embrace the edge a bit. And what better way to embrace the edge than embracing more of celebrating and cultivating our authentic differences that make us who we are. This includes specifically celebrating the diversity of our fellow residents and neighbors and making it a priority we are a welcoming and inclusive community. Diversity is part of our heritage and part of our culture. Let us remember we are unique in our region, particularly because of the diversity resulting from UND and the Grand Forks Air Force Base. I, for one, came from afar. I came to the Air Force after living in Japan, England, and Texas, and found a life here after attending UND. No matter the path, the lesson should be one of opportunity and the path of inclusion. We have tremendous resources helping our new neighbors and our citizens alike along the important path, like people involved with the Global Friends Coalition and Lutheran Social Services of North Dakota. And resources like Sandra Mitchell, the new Associate Vice President for Diversity at UND. Welcome, AVP Mitchell. Again, this is a testament to the wealth and resources. UND is a testament to the wealth and resources that UND lends to the community. This is a pause where I take a drink. I think the computer's frozen. Peter, help me. It is time for a drink. Mr. Haga said one thing would go wrong, and he was right. One technical thing. We take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. I wish I had Hal's talent for telling jokes. Or maybe you don't. We promise to get you back to work by 1 o'clock. PM. Yes. Sorry. So Peter, do you want me to proceed? I'm so pleased that we have so many students as well as departments ranging from student affairs to international programs to differentiate music programs that are part of our community. We're almost there. I'm so pleased that so many students, as well as departments ranging from student affairs and international programs to even different music programs, are a part of this conversation and about diversity, inclusion, and globalization. Our community does boast many events that highlight our diversity. Events like the UND Feast of Nations, World Refugee Picnic, and the upcoming Wachipi on April 17th, and the Public Schools Culture Night on April 21st. And proudly, we have taken steps to support inclusion, like being the first city to adopt LGBT housing and employment ordinance, thanks to our City Council. But we can and should do more. For one, I've been asked to form an Inclusion and Diversity Council by our citizens. This concept was discussed and is supported by our Social Infrastructure Commission. My appreciation goes to Natasha Thomas, Amber Finley, and Dr. Malika Carter for bringing this request to me, and also to the scores of citizens who have been championing greater inclusion throughout our community. I do support an Inclusion and Diversity Commission. I will ask the stakeholders to work with city staff to bring a proposal forward to the City Council for consideration. As we move forward, let us keep focused on the goals of celebrating our diversity and encouraging inclusion. This includes access to services, employment, and education, the openness to our social and political systems, and intentional invitations to connect with all the wonderful that is Grand Forks. In addition to these social and cultural connections, we also need to pay particular attention to physical connections. That's because social, cultural, and physical connections often intersect. In fact, physical connections, or the lack thereof, directly affect social connections. It is why we focus on being better connected with public transportation, walkability, and greater bikeability. Congrats to us, by the way, for being recognized with the Bronze Level Bikeable Community Award. Great work by all involved, and let's get to that next level with more actions like Sharrows along University Avenue, creative signage, bike racks downtown, bike repair stations, and bike-friendly transportation-oriented development. I'm also intrigued by the idea of floating around of creating a rapid bus transit corridor connecting the vibrancy districts of downtown, UND campus, and 42nd Street, and promoting redevelopment with investments all along the way. Sounds a little like light rail, doesn't it? So stay tuned for this. We can and should dream big when it comes to connectivity of our community for the decades to come. And what could be more important than access to information, creation, and interaction as the library? 2 years out from the 20-year anniversary of the flood of '97, and just imagine what a statement we as a community could make if we were to put a capstone on our recovery with a majestic series of public art installations spread throughout the city, a new UND medical school, a new South End Senior Center, and a new public library for our community, our county, and our region. My hope is we can come together as a community around the new library and services we'll be providing and the resources we'll offer our community members. It is possible. We are working hard at determining where the investment of public and privately raised dollars will make the most impact. My hope, again, is that we can leverage this opportunity and investment in an area that will result in spin-off investment and opportunity, specifically in an area like downtown. I recognize projects like the library are game changers for our community. I further recognize there could be countless more projects that need just a little more encouragement to get off the ground. In that vein, I'll be asking Mr. Phelan to drop a request for innovation. Similar to an RFP or an RFQ, this RFI will call for out-of-the-box efforts to better connect our city physically, culturally, and socially. Our targeted projects that emphasize place or focus on the geographic area or areas. They should focus on people and the connections they need for a healthy, vibrant, and livable community. They should emulate collaboration with teams of professionals like architects and investors, or teams of community builders with great passion, or best of yet, all of the above. Again, look for more on this RFI in the coming weeks. So here's a recap of some of our GF 2020 action plan. Proceed with the infrastructure master plan, including securing reliable funding to create opportunities for investment, particularly in the west and southwest areas of town. Continue to nurture outside investment and infusion of capital to the economic base of our community. Follow through the vibrancy initiative with the downtown, UND community, and arts entertainment committees. Create a developmental strategy for vibrancy districts as identified by the Solar community and the NV360 initiatives that will attract investment and entrepreneurship and provide a community that better embraces and engages college students and young professionals. Become a more physically and socially connected community through transit-oriented development, bike pedestrian paths, gathering spots, and a new Grand Forks Public Library. Be recognized as a best college town. Embrace the edge, embrace diversity, inclusion, and globalization. Encourage prudent risk-taking in an entrepreneurial environment. Issue requests for innovation and crowdsource ideas for game-changing projects. And the final call to action is to you all. Be your own spark in this growing entrepreneurial spirit. Let us each commit by expanding the ideas of marketplace, ideas on how to best be with the Grand Forks we want to be in 5 or 10 years. Specifically, go forth and visit other communities. Talk with your peers across the country. Mark the experiences that move you and bring back ideas. Or create places to generate and grow ideas right here. In either case, let's commit to creating opportunities to share these ideas and let them collide, make them ours, and bring them to life. Let's embrace the edge. Already, I have committed to participate with local teams who will be putting boots on the ground to communities like Winnipeg and Fort Collins to be aspirational and learn from their successes and challenges. Let's support and grow events like 1 Million Cups and programs from the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals where transformational conversations are going on. By supporting these, we're encouraging more. And I would like to work with the Chamber and others to host regular Ideas to Action sessions, which would be opportunities to openly and safely share and grow with these ideas. Perhaps we can even become a center for community building and idea creation by hosting a regional urban design conference. We have the best convention and visitors bureau, event centers, and attractions. So why not here in Grand Forks? Let's be clear about something. We don't aspire to be any other community. Taking the best ideas and implementations in other successful, high-quality life cities and putting to work in our city, Grand Forks, the city we love, just makes sense. We want Grand Forks to be the best it can be now and into the future. To provide everyone the opportunities to grow, the Grand Forks Promise. We all have a role in on this team. Our job as a city is to facilitate. Your job as engaged citizens and businesses is going to bring back the ideas to make things happen. So let's get out there and be entrepreneurial with our community, embrace the edge, shake things up a bit, make a plan and act. I have a passion for Grand Forks, as do you. Use that passion to build on this greatness, a new level of vibrancy. I give you permission to explore, to dream, and I challenge you to do. This is your call to action. Thank you.